on December 30th, 2020, one more day left in this year that has been a year like no other. And though, of course, we know that the challenges of this year will most certainly continue into 2020 and beyond, it's also true that how we carry the losses that we've experienced, whether personal or like community losses that we're honoring tonight, how we carry those losses is in some ways up to us, right? We can feel and carry them in isolation, or we can share them in community. And in doing so, by some mysterious grace, grief shared in community is transformed. It's not disappeared, but it's transformed. And so actively naming and honoring and releasing our losses is actually how we make space for new life, for new possibilities, for a new future for the community. So, so that's what we're going to do tonight. We're gathering to name and honor and release particularly the losses that you all have experienced as the Levin community, in the community, the losses that are big or even the really small ones, whatever those might be. Some of the obvious losses since the pandemic started, like the inability to gather in person inside, loss of connection to the building and all the people in the community that are connected to that place, the inability to do familiar things that we used to do together, sing, drink coffee, care for each other's children, have one-to-ones in person. The list is long. And then, of course, there's also the losses pre-pandemic, the loss of Pastor Melissa as pastor organizer and co-director of Levin just a little over a year ago, the loss of relationship with her and the stability and the vision that she cultivated in the community. The list related to that is also long. And then I was also thinking, of course, in this interim time, in any interim time between, it naturally creates a kind of loss of identity, bringing up questions about like who are we again? And what are we all about? And it's not a complete loss of identity, but it's a questioning of it, which is in its own way a loss. So we're here to just name and honor and release them, release the losses. So this is a time when we have permission to just say what's true about our experience of loss in this community, whatever that is. Tonight, this is just some space where we just have permission to say what's true about the losses. You know, what's different, what has changed, what have you missed, what still hurts, what are you afraid or worried will never come back once we get back to whatever the new normal is going to look like. So I was just imagining a really simple structure for tonight. There's a song by Anna Fritz that maybe some of you know called Into the Fire. And so that song is just gonna kind of accompany us through the different parts. And so it's really like 3 different parts to the time. The first part is just sharing with one another in an open way. And we'll probably break up into 2 groups. So there's a little bit of a smaller group. And just sharing the losses. What have you noticed that you've missed? What have you noticed that's been hard? What are you worried about with the community? What are you afraid will never come back? Whatever those things are. And then we'll come back and we'll take a few minutes to actually write those down. And so if you can find some paper and a pen close by, or that would be helpful for us. We'll have a little kind of a sentence to fill in, to distill what you shared in the smaller groups, and then we'll pull up a tradition from Levin community and do closing candles. And so if you have a candle close by, You don't have to, but if you do, then we'll each go around and read what's on our paper and light our candle, and that will be kind of our ritual of release. So super simple that way.
This heaviness from my heart, throw it into the fire. Let me learn to be joyful. Lift my soul up higher. Take this heaviness from my heart. Throw it into the fire. Let me learn to be joyful. Lift my soul up higher.
So the questions again that might be helpful are what have you missed? What still hurts? What are you worried about or afraid will not come back? What is feeling tenuous and vulnerable during this time? Or whatever it is that comes to you. So yeah, I'm just gonna open it up and we'll do this together, and then we can take a little time to just distill our thoughts and write them down once we're done. So let's take about maybe almost a half an hour, 25 minutes to do this.
Take this heaviness from